I have a problem. I own a house in Italy. I am starting to establish a life in Italy, but I'm Australian, which means I can only stay in Italy for 90 days out of every 180. And that just isn't enough anymore. So I've been trying to answer what should be a fairly simple question. How do I stay? And the more I look into it, the stranger the situation becomes, but it seems that I do have more than one way. But all of them have their complications, difficulties, and time. Nothing's instant. A while ago, I made an episode on trying to get my Italian citizenship. At the time, the rules had changed, meaning that it was going to be very difficult for me to go through my mother's side, which I had initially thought would be the easiest way. Mum was born in Italy, in a little town called Palmi in Calabria, and she came out to Australia when she was about 12 years old with her mother, father and siblings. Mum eventually became an Australian, but while she was still underage, so she wasn't classified as an adult. Now this is where it gets interesting because yet again, the Italians have changed the rules. Fancy that. But anyway, so the rules have changed for this minor issue, that's what they call it, meaning that because Mum was underage when she became an Australian, potentially she still maintained her Italian citizenship, therefore passing it down to me. Now there's a couple of issues still with that. One, it's only a recent change, and none of these laws have filtered down to the smaller offices, so they're not implementing it yet. The other issue is obtaining her birth certificate because the church which held her records burnt down during the war. I have been told since that there is a central database and it shouldn't be too difficult to get her paperwork. The biggest issue though is Australia, because to get an appointment with the Melbourne Italian Consulate office is basically impossible. They're saying it's like a 2-year wait just to get the appointment. Once you've got the appointment, you've got to put in the forms, you've got to wait, and that waiting could be another 2 years. So it's a really long process. I'm going to go 5 years if I go down that route. Now, when I spoke to the consulate on the phone, they had said that there could be another way for me to get my citizenship, and that would be through residency. So you live in Italy for a period of time. After that period of time has lapsed, you can then apply for citizenship. Now, if you're not Italian or your parents or grandparents didn't live in Italy for a period of time, you must still wait the 10 years before applying. Because my mum was born and lived in Italy for over 2 years, I can apply for residency after only 2 years. So I could live there for 2 years and then I can apply. Now the issue is, how do I stay for 2 years? Because I can't get a working visa. I'm pretty sure you've got to be under 35 to be able to work. And I'm well over 35. I'm 50 in a few months' time. So that rules me out. And this is where it comes back to this garden idea or business idea, because there could be a visa available for me within that scope. So I have been thinking about developing the land around my house and establishing a business there in Italy. Instead of spending what money I do have left on renovating, I would spend it on establishing the business. So I could then in turn apply for a self-employment visa. Now, I do have a fair bit of experience working the land. For about 10 years, maybe a bit more, I worked in different areas of agriculture. I've done apple orchards, I've done herb farms, broccoli, potatoes, a little bit of cattle, and a lot of viticulture. So I have a fair idea how to work the land. But if you saw one of my last episodes, you'll see I don't feel like I can out-Italian the Italians. So I'm thinking more to do something closer to me, closer to who I am. And the idea is to run with this idea of Australian plants, growing potted plants and cut flowers. I've just started studying horticulture here while I'm in Australia because I thought it would be great to get the fundamentals and the certification that I need to help get the visa. In Italy, they like you to have qualifications to run a farm or to get visas and incentives. So I'm doing my horticultural certificate while I'm working here in Australia. I've also been researching the area of Piemonte to see what nurseries and establishments are already there. And I found that there's a fair bit, but also Italians do spend a fair bit on plants. On average, they're spending €30 each time they visit, and they're happy to pay about €10 per plant. So there is potential for it to work. There is still lots of risks, lots of complications, and how do I get them to my front door to buy? Now, to get a self-employment visa, you need a few things. You need to show you've got a certain amount of capital to establish the business. You need to show that in the time that you're there that you can fund yourself. So you've got an income coming in either from the business or from another area. Because plants don't particularly care about immigration problems, I can't plant something today and expect to sell it tomorrow. It's going to take at least a year to establish this. So I'll need some income coming in. And I'm hoping that my chili business here in Australia can do that. But I need to work that out, and that's not easy too. So everything seems to need time, concentration, and working out, which is difficult, and I just would love it all to go away and be able to just leap over there and start my life. But that's not going to happen. So that's where I am at the moment. I'm here in Australia. I am trying to establish a way to be in Italy for longer. I return I leave in about 6 weeks, so I head back to Italy in 6 weeks, and that's where I'm going to start to try and find the people that can find me the people to get to the people that I need to talk to get the ball rolling. And I do think I'm better off going through the people instead of going straight to the system, because the system's going to be way too hard for me to navigate. I have got this amazing contact. I don't know, someone blessed me who has come into my life there that has been able to help me with the house. But also he runs his own business, so he knows about starting a business. He's got his accountant, he's got all the paperwork in order. And when I was there last and I briefly said to him, it's something I'm thinking about, he said, no worries, when you're ready, we can work that out. So I'll be holding him to his word. I've already messaged him on WhatsApp saying, can't wait to catch up. You'll have to come for dinner. and we've got lots of talking to do because there's lots of work, not just construction work, which that's his business. He renovates old buildings and he's particularly good with stonework. So he's an absolute blessing. And he's got all the contacts that I need, and he's local from the town. And the beauty that my little town's only 500 people, I'm hoping that's an advantage when it comes to paperwork because they're not going to be bogged down with heaps and heaps of paperwork. Actually, I don't think there are any foreigners even in my town, and if there is, there's probably like 5, and I'm one of them. So I believe I'm in a good position. I'm moving forward. And even though it is complicated and organising Australia at the same time to be in a situation where I can leave the business. Do I sell the business? Do I try and trickle it through? There's still so much to work out.